So our idea is to bring consumers and producers closer to each other by bringing transparently information about the identity of the origin, the producer, and the destiny, the consumer. So which problem do we think we solve by this? We think we increase the quality of the products or the services, but let's focus on the products. And that's also bringing more humanity, so more ethics and sense in the production. For the producers, it's an important point, and also for the consumers, it brings more humanity, emotions, so more happiness in the economy. For whom do we solve the problems? But here we think we solve the problems from the consumers and the producers. What are the advantages compared to the existing solution? We think that it's much more transparency, but especially we think that we bring the feedback from the consumers to the producers. The consumers sometimes know the producers, but the feedback does not exist. So that's what is really new in this. But what is unclear for the moment, the question is, is really blockchain needed to fix this? That's a question.
So the idea is to improve our government. The main issue currently is that we have too long loop to get our taxes to be converted to some assets around us, what we are paying for. The idea is to use blockchain in order to delegate votes for distributing taxes, and in extreme to vote by portion of taxes for some projects. This is leading to execute collective leadership. So what kind of problems this could manage? First of all is overall corruption. On some countries there is a big issue, and this is not good for society at all. Another issue is overall bureaucratic overhead and society inefficiency. We are taking very long time to take a decision, to implement it, to ensure that this implementation is really focusing needs of society. By using custom projects and blockchain, this will give us more and more transparency and more speed in order to make society happy. So for the target audience is actually the whole society. So everybody who is allowed to get something from society, from the common things. In current world, it's any taxpayer or any member of society can advantage of this, or even more for some people who would like to do something for society, and they has either no power to do this or no funds to do this, will be able to implement their project for everybody's needs. So the principal advantages is that this simply giving more efficiency in all the stages. More efficiency means this leads to minimize bureaucratic overhead to take a decision, to find the optimal solution, which is as much as possible needs for society, for given society, and this gives also transparency, much clearer transparency.
A better use of the money.
Yeah, and finally, it's better use of money, better use of our taxes. Finally. The main point which is unclear for us is how to make this happen, how to make a transition to the modern distributed government. This case to be started, so set of adoptions, set of probably pilots on small communities, regions, villages, whatever, needs to be done in order to tune up this, in order to make it really works out of concept what we have right now.
This inside a party and then try to apply, for instance, applying this inside a party and then trying to do it inside the whole government, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah, so the current idea, current hypothesis that we can do this by implementing this for the community of some party, political party, and to do this internally within party, and then to try to implement for some particular regions.
That's it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So in terms of interesting blockchain ideas and applications here, as a group we have thought of two ones that would have interesting applications for the world. The first one is regarding a protocol for the protocols, that is to say a protocol for the blockchains in order to communicate with each other. Now to some degree this exists, but it's in a very, very early form. And we're going to need a way for complex DAOs and smart contract bundles, for the ones that are less organized, to communicate with each other and to be ordered. This ordering needs to be both horizontal, as in different DAOs need to communicate with each other to transfer value and benefits, and it needs to be vertical, because there's going to be differing authority, values. Essentially, some DAOs are going to take priority, such as the state. The interest of the collective populace at whole is going to be much more important than the transportation DAO, which simply moves people here and from, and they should not have equal power. So a mechanism for integrating this horizontal and vertical authority is going to be necessary. Now that is the first idea. The second idea concerns crowdfunding the future of mankind, and I'm going to hand this off to Paul Stacka to deal with this.
On that note, so yeah, it would be to crowdsource a new political system or societal system that would organize society, where people from a country, from a region, for a city, for a small city-state, could come together and invest on the crowdsourcing of that model, and basically would fund the creation of that model and the replacement of the current model by that new model. And so we would do a crowdfunding campaign to get the funds to do that by pitching the project of what that new model could be, and then the people that invested prior would have certain benefits maybe, and we would have a more fairer society with a new system that I think we are noticing that's being more and more requested by society by all the crazy stuff that's been happening with Brexit and Trump and all that. So that's it.
We should just build that ourselves.
Well, I can just add a little thing. Like at the end of the day, I think what we're trying to talk about is like to create like a system, like or a society that at the end is more equal, or where the opportunities are more equal, right? And there's no concentration of power. I mean, we believe that power is good, but it doesn't have to be concentrated in only like one entity or two. So I think definitely the blockchain technologies can help us build this society. Yes, exactly. All those things.
Well, the chief thing it does there, and the chief function of this kind of tool, is not necessarily strictly transparency is a benefit of this kind of product, but the chief function is to give a way for people to focus the use of their energy and their time. So it's a tool for organizational efficiency. How well can people bring a diverse group of otherwise unrelated people bring an excessive amount of force to bear, okay? And this, of course, is a very difficult thing to do.
That's right. That's it.
So we have been asked a solution about like how can blockchain improve the society, and there's a big market. I'm more on the financial side because I have experience in the financial side. There's a big market which is the OTC, over the counter, where most of the derivatives are traded between counterparties. Some of them are, let's say, starting being listed in, let's say, regulated market, but most of them are still traded in over the counter. And of course, there's no supervision, and so there's no transparency between the issuer, in this case the banks, and the acquirer of these derivatives. With blockchain, if the database is, let's say, public, all these derivatives over the counter will expire. So they won't exist anymore in hidden market, but all of the product will be listed in regulated market. And by definition, a regulated market is with a regulator. So all the clients, the potential clients, and the issuer will be regulated, and there will be much more transparency in the pricing of the financial product.